All right, Financial Lit, welcome back. Okay, this assignment's called Calculate Completing a 1040. This is where we're actually going to go through the process of what you would do if you were filing your own taxes, and we are going to complete a 1040 for 5 people, I think it is. So we're going to go through this assignment. So in this lesson, we're actually going to complete one. We're going to use the actual IRS form. We will convert and put our answers into a Google form just so we can see if we got them right. It'll be a quick way to grade it. But yes, this is something that we are going to be doing. So oops, let's see if this will work. All right, so completing it, we're going to be using sample W-2s. Again, we're not going to use our actual information because that information is private, and so that's what we're going to do. And once we are finished, we will submit our answers on this Google form. Okay, so the form that we're going to be using, this is what an actual 1040 looks like. We are going to be using a filled out version of it. It's a PDF that we can actually, an editable PDF that the IRS provides for us for free. So this is what we're going to use. If you would prefer to do it on paper, you can ask your teacher. They can print it. They have access to this as well. Okay, we are going to be going through Edgar, Melinda, Angela, Marcus, and Boris. Now remember, we've already gone through and learned who are dependents and who aren't dependents. This is all information that we're going to need. These are the links to the W-2s that we will be using. So the one that you and I are going to go through just as an example is Edgar. So we will go through Edgar's together. And once we go through that, you should be able to do the other 4 on your own. Okay, so now we're going to get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go into this, and it's the next part in the module. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so you guys should all be in Canvas now. If you aren't already, then you're going to want to. So we'll go into Learning Modules. And this is in Unit 1. Calculate completing a 1040, and we'll click on that. This is the video that you're watching, so you're already in this if you're watching this video, but I thought I would go. First thing you want to do is click on this. It'll automatically make a copy for you. So once that copy is made for you, we're going to go ahead and go into Edgar's W-2. You're going to want that open, so go ahead and click on that. And then the next thing you want to do is open this. So I already have all of these opened up. So here's the 1040, and here is Edgar's W-2. So when we are going through this, I typically tell students to do a split screen because it's a little bit easier, but it's up to you. The other thing that's going to be happening is you're going to have to go back and forth with the assignment. And so when we're looking at the assignment right here, it tells us some different information based on what we're doing. So we're going to go through that. And this one also tells us. So Edgar is age 16. He lives with his parents. So if we look at that form in our notes, we would know that being 16 and living with your parents full-time means that you are a dependent. He is unmarried and he is single. The other thing we need to know for right away is that he didn't do anything with virtual currencies. So when we go into, I'm going to pull those back up. Okay, so on this W-2, 1040, excuse me, using the W-2, we want to put that he is single. Then we type in his name, and I got all of this information right here. So Edgar J. Flores, his social security number is 12 it's just, oh, whoops, I think, there it is, 123 XXX. So you could type that in there, right? That. I don't actually, we're not really grading that part, so I wouldn't stress over that too much. I got his address right here. The next one, can someone claim him as a dependent? Yes, he lives there full time. And then he isn't going to have any of these boxes. So it says, at any time during 2001, did you receive, sell, exchange any virtual currency? No. So we put that. This is the presidential election box where they talk about whether or not you want to donate $3 of your refund or donate $3 within this. You can, you or your spouse, you and your spouse. You can choose either one. If you don't check any, that means you will not. And then this is where we start to start filling things out. So where it says box 1, these are coming from your W-2, which is right here. So box 1 matches box 1. So we're going to type 5, 5, 5 because he made $5,505. So then box 2, so tax exempt interest, we're going to put 0. And I know all of this because if I go back to the assignment, it actually tells me all of that. Lines 2A through 8 assume $0 for each value. The rest we're going to get from his W-2. So let me pull that back up. My line's being weird. So we can type 0 for that. 0 here. 0. Says 2B is 0. Says qualified tax dividends, ordinary dividends, IRA distributions, taxable amount, pensions, taxable amount, Social Security benefits, taxable amount. So, and then it said 7 was 0 and 8 was 0. So then we look at number 9, and number 9 says add 1, 2B, 3B. So add all of these up and put that total. So $5,505 plus all those zeros is just $5,505. Then it says for line 10, adjustments to income, which would be on line 26, and it will say right here, line 10, no adjustment. So we're not going to have any adjustments. Okay, so since we're not going to have any adjustments, whoops, the 0 got put in the wrong spot. Line 10 is 0. It says line 11, subtract line 10 from line 9. This is your adjusted gross income. So we're going to do 9 minus, or $5,505 minus 0, which is $5,505. And then the standard deduction. Now this is on our worksheet, and it's going to tell us what we're supposed to do. So our worksheet says, if you are not a dependent, right here, if you are a dependent and line 1 is greater than 12,550, enter 12,550. If you are a dependent and line 1 is less than 12,550, add $350 to line 1 and enter that total there. So that is what we're going to do. Okay, so since Edgar is a dependent and made less than 12,550, we're going to do the line 1 plus 350, which is 5,855. So that is the number that we're going to write there. We don't need to worry about 12B, and we will go back again to our assignment. So this is a lot of back and forth. And it says 12B, assume no charitable contributions. Line 13, assume no qualified business. And then we're going to do some more work. So 12C says the add lines 12A and 12B together, and that is how we get 5,855 right there. And then it says there were no assumed qualified there. And then line 14 says add 12C and 13, and we still end up with $5,855. Now what we have to do is that taxable income, and we are going to subtract line 14 from line 11. So line 11 is $5,505 and line 14 is 5,855. So we need to find the difference between those numbers. And since line 14 is bigger than line 11, we know that it's going to be a negative number, so we can just put 0 there because it says if less than 0, enter 0. So now we have that. So we just entered, we did the whole thing. Now we have to go to our tax form. For this one, we don't, I'll show you the page. Okay, so this is this page. So it says that and we know how to read these because we've practiced reading these before. So this is why we did the worksheets we did before. But if our income is at least 0, but less than 5, and we're single, then our tax is 0. So that is what we're going to put. Now, if it was a different number, we know how to find it. We just scroll until we find the thousands, and then it'll be broken up in here. So we just have to find it that way. So let's go back to our assignment. So for lines 17, 19, 20, and 23, we can actually put 0 for those. Okay, so for 17, 17, 19, schedule 20. So these are just saying add lines 16 and 17. Well, 0 plus 0 is 0. This one says 0. This one says add lines 19 and 20. That's 0. 21 is going to be at, or amount. So this is 0. Add 19 and 20, 0. 22, subtract it. We're going to get 0. These will not be true for every single one. You're going to need to read them. I think all of ours, but like 16 and 17 isn't always going to be 0. So 16 plus 17 isn't going to always be 0. 17 will always be 0, but this one is just 0 for ours. All right, so line 23 says other taxes, and we have a 0 there. And then 24 is adds lines 22 and 23, and we get 0. Again, you're going to want to read everything and make sure you're doing it correctly. Each line matters. Okay, so line 25A, federal tax. This is where we need that federal. This is where we're going to need our W-2. The federal income tax withheld, that's from box 2. It says forms W-2, so that is where we're going to type the $336. We don't have a 1099, so we're going to put 0. We also don't have any other forms, so we're going to put 0. And then 25D says add lines 25A through 25C. So 336 plus a bunch of zeros is that. And for 27A, we are going to assume 0. And that'll say that on our assignment. So if we were to click on the assignment, it says it right here. 27 through, we're going to assume 0 for 27 through 32. So we'll go back to that. So 27 through 32. We can just put zeros for all of these. And this is going to be true for all of the assignments because we're using the same rules. Okay, so line 33, it says to add all of those lines up, and that's our total payments, and we put 0. Oh, I forgot 25D. 25D plus a bunch of zeros, so $336. Now, it says line 35A will indicate whether we have overpaid or not. So we have to figure out line 34. Line 34 says if line 33 is more than line 24, so 33 is that and line 24 is 0, so yes, it is, then that is the amount we overpaid. So Edgar overpaid $336. Now, if we want this amount refunded to us, we definitely do. Then we are just going to check that and we'll put $336. That is the amount that we wanted, and we'll have it go to our savings account so we can save this. And we'll just do 1, 2. These numbers don't matter. There we go. So we have that, and that is the amount. And then we don't have to worry about line 36 because we didn't pay taxes last year. So there's anything that we owe. And then line 37 is a moot point for us because we don't owe any taxes. Now there is one where you will owe taxes, so don't write that one off. And then this is just the rest of the form. So now what you'll do is you'll take all of these answers. So we'll leave them here. I'm going to move them off to the side, and we're going to go to this Google form. We're going to put your first and last name, and this is for Edgar, so we're going to put that in there, and then we're going to answer all those questions. Now, for the rest of them, you don't have to fill out that PDF. You can if you want to. It's definitely good practice, but you don't have to. So you're going to fill out all the answers right here, and each one will allow you to go through each one, and you'll submit each one of those. They are graded on accuracy, and be careful and make sure you're filling them out in the right format. Now, the assignment does have some things. So Edgar, we would put $336, and then the completed, you would have to save that link to the completed 1040. I'm not going to have you guys do that because we're going to use that. We're using the Google form. All right, have a great day. Enjoy filling out your taxes. Way to go. You are a CPA kind of right now, or H&R Block kind of guy. And I hope that you have a good time. I know I did.